You just heard the quotes that sent the internet into a total frenzy. For weeks, social media and headline-hungry outlets have been pushing one dramatic narrative: that Lexi Hull, a cornerstone of the Indiana Fever and one of Caitlin Clark's closest allies, was saying her emotional final goodbyes. The story spread like wildfire, framed as a tragic breakup between two teammates who had become inseparable. But here's the truth: that story is a complete lie. What's really happening isn't a tearful farewell, it's a high-stakes power move. And once you connect the dots, it becomes crystal clear that this situation is far bigger than one player's contract. This is about Caitlin Clark's loyalty, her influence, and how it has cornered the Indiana Fever's front office into a decision they can't afford to get wrong. The media ran with emotion instead of facts, cutting up Lexi Hull's comments for maximum shock value. They showed you the tears, the tone, the thank you moments, but they conveniently left out the two most important words in her statement: restricted free agent. That changes everything. Being a restricted free agent doesn't mean she's leaving. It means the Fever have the right to match any offer she gets from another team. In other words, Hull's future is still completely in Indiana's hands. This isn't goodbye, it's leverage. Lexi Hull knows her worth, Caitlin Clark knows her influence, and the Fever know what's at stake. This isn't a breakup, it's a loyalty test, and the results will determine whether Indiana is truly ready to build a championship core around their superstar. For everyone new to this, let's be clear, that wasn't a goodbye speech. It was a legal status. When Lexi Hull said she's entering free agency, she was talking about her designation as a restricted free agent, not delivering a farewell message. And that distinction changes everything. Here's what that actually means. As a restricted free agent, the Indiana Fever hold the right of first refusal. In simple terms, if any other team offers Hull a contract, the Fever can match that offer and keep her. She isn't gone. She isn't packing her bags. In fact, Indiana has the final say on where she plays next season. So, when Hull said things like, "With a lot of uncertainty, you never know what's to come," that wasn't some cryptic goodbye or coded message. It was a textbook professional answer, the kind every player gives before entering contract talks. What happened next was predictable. The media, desperate for clicks, twisted that standard statement into a soap opera. They stripped it of context, edited the clips for maximum drama, and fed the internet a story about heartbreak and farewell. Because let's be honest, Lexi Hull negotiating contract doesn't drive engagement. Lexi Hull says goodbye to Fever does. They counted on you not knowing the rules. But this isn't about a goodbye, this is about leverage. And to really understand it, you have to look at what the media ignored: the powerful alliance between Caitlin Clark and Lexi Hull. This is not just about a contract. It's about chemistry and loyalty. The bond between Clark and Hull is deeper than stats or headlines. It's one of the most important dynamics inside the Fever locker room. Anyone who watched this team closely knows it. Their on-court chemistry was undeniable. When Clark was blitzed with double teams, Hull was often the outlet, the trusted shooter in rhythm, the defensive anchor holding things together through a season full of chaos and injuries. But the strongest proof of their bond came after the season ended, when Hull posted her season wrap-up message on Instagram, a message that speculators immediately framed as a farewell. Caitlin Clark didn't stay silent. She commented, *, so proud of you. * simple words, but in the world of professional sports politics, they carry real weight. That was Clark publicly endorsing Hull, signaling her loyalty to her teammate and reminding everyone watching that she values Hull not just as a player, but as part of the core foundation of what she's building in Indiana. That single comment sent a louder message than any press conference could. Fans noticed. Social media exploded with messages about how Clark and Hull's bond is the heart of the Fever's chemistry. They become a fan-favorite duo, the playmaker and the enforcer, the superstar and the steady hand. Hull's impact doesn't always show up in the box score, but every Fever fan knows her value as the emotional glue of the team. This is the detail the mainstream media ignored. They wanted to sell a narrative of heartbreak, not the reality of strategic loyalty. Because here's the truth, the relationship between Clark and Hull has now evolved into something much bigger than basketball. It's leverage, pure, visible, emotional leverage. And it's forcing the Fever's front office to make a choice they can't afford to fumble. And in doing so, it completely destroys one of the laziest, most toxic narratives floating around the WNBA this year. The myth that no one wants to play with Caitlin Clark. We've all heard it. The whispers. The talking points. The claim that her spotlight is too bright, that her competitiveness rubs people the wrong way, that other players resent the attention she commands. It's a narrative that's been weaponized by critics for months. But this Lexi Hull situation just blew that theory to pieces. Because the truth is the exact opposite. Players do want to play with Caitlin Clark. They're fiercely loyal to her. So loyal that it's now reshaping how Indiana does business. Hull's relationship with Clark has amplified her value. She's not just a role player anymore. She's an essential part of the culture that makes the Fever function. Now the front office is cornered. Whether they'll admit it or not, they've been handed a silent ultimatum. One delivered not through an agent's phone call, but through Caitlin Clark's public loyalty to her friend. Think about the position they're in. The league is watching. The media is watching. The fans are watching. If Indiana lets Lexi Hull walk away, it doesn't just mean losing a player. It sends a catastrophic message. It says they don't value chemistry that works. It says they don't listen to their generational superstar. This isn't just a free agency negotiation anymore. This is a defining loyalty test, one that will shape the future of Caitlin Clark, Lexi Hull, and the Indiana Fever franchise itself. This would be a massive self-inflicted wound, the kind that doesn't just bruise a franchise's reputation, but shatters it entirely. If the Indiana Fever were to let Lexi Hull walk away, it would hand ammunition to every critic who's been claiming the team can't build a stable, winning environment around Caitlin Clark. The backlash would be instant, relentless, and absolutely brutal. So what's their only real option? They have to match the offer. Period. Asterisk, asterisk, whatever the market demands. The Fever must pay it, not only for Hull's defensive grit and versatility, but for something far more important. The trust and stability of their franchise player. This isn't just a roster move. It's a referendum on whether Indiana truly understands the generational talent they're building around. The ultimatum is clear. Either you prove your loyalty to Caitlin Clark by protecting the players who empower her, or you show the entire basketball world that you don't comprehend the value of the asset sitting at the heart of your franchise. And this ultimatum doesn't exist in isolation. The pressure on Indiana's front office is being magnified by two massive, league-altering forces currently reshaping the WNBA landscape. Every team is feeling the tension, but for the Fever, teetering between contender and collapse, it's absolutely critical. The first force? The shadow war over the new collective bargaining agreement. As we speak, the league and the players' union are locked in negotiations, with the current deal set to expire on October 31st, 2025. And insiders are already warning of a possible lockout in 2026. That looming uncertainty has every player and every front office on edge. No one knows what the salary structure, free agency rules, or even roster limits might look like a year from now. In this environment, stability isn't a luxury, it's survival. For the Fever to show anything less than absolute commitment to their core players, to the very women who've kept this team together through turbulence, would be catastrophic. It would send a message that the front office doesn't value loyalty at a time when loyalty is the most valuable currency in the sport. But the second force at play is even more revolutionary. The rise of Unrivaled. This isn't just another off-season exhibition league. It's a player-owned, player-driven movement, co-founded by superstars Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. And it's offering six-figure salaries, creative control, and empowerment in ways the WNBA never has. For players like Lexi Hull, Unrivaled represents more than another paycheck. It represents leverage. It's proof that top-tier talent now has options beyond the traditional league structure. That means the Fever aren't simply bidding against other WNBA teams for Hull services. They're bidding against a new era of player empowerment. And that's what makes this situation so dangerous for Indiana. This is happening right after a season in which they finally showed the resilience and chemistry of a potential contender, despite being wrecked by injuries, including the one that ended Caitlin Clark's season. The Fever made it to the semifinals and pushed the defending champions to 5 games. They survived because of heart. They survived because of chemistry. And they survived because of glue players like Lexi Hull, players who bring toughness, leadership, and stability. Letting someone like that leave now wouldn't just be bad optics, it would be a catastrophic strategic failure. So when you connect the dots, the truth becomes crystal clear. The story the internet tried to sell, a tale of heartbreak, farewells, and internal chaos, was never real. It was an emotional fabrication designed for clicks and outrage. When you filter out that noise, the real picture emerges. This was never about Lexi Hull leaving Indiana. It's about Caitlin Clark's influence growing so powerful that her teammate's contract has become a public loyalty test for the entire franchise. In this new era of uncertainty, defined by CBA negotiations, emerging rival leagues, and shifting player power, the Fever's front office faces the most defining decision in franchise history. Their next move won't just decide